What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. FantasyTeamAdvisors.com, bringing home the bacon, MLB DFS video. It is Sunday edition. It is June 29th. We are back with another video. If you've never been here before, hopefully you're in for a treat. So we have 13 games we're going to cover. There's a very early game we're not going to cover. We've got the main slate, then a 2-game afternoon slate, and then the Sunday Night Baseball game, which we don't cover in these main videos. If you've never been here before, we do things a little bit differently. Looking at this, I think you're going to be in for a surprise. So if you find this helpful, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We're going to go game by game. We're going to look at the pitchers. We're going to look at the batters. We're going to use outlier.bet to do so. And on top of that, we're going to give you basically our top three to top 5 players in each team at each game. So if you want to stick around, definitely do that. We try to have giveaways every single day. We try to have 2, and most weekends we have them. Here's how you can win. Like the video, be a subscriber, and leave a comment. You do all 3 of those, and this video right here gets at least 50 likes. You will have a shot at a free week of FTA+. Now, that is a week of all sports. So current sports, we're doing MLB, NASCAR, PGA, and MMA. If this video gets at least 100 likes, you'll have a shot at a free month. 150 likes, a free year. 200 or more likes on this video, you will have a chance at a lifetime pass worth $500. The second way to win, somewhere in the video there'll be a keyword or a key phrase. Listen for it, type it in, and have a second shot at a free week. Now, Saturday's video killed it. What we do is we need to hit the minimum of 50 likes by the time the main slate locks. That's how it always works. So the main slate locks, we get those, then we have the giveaway for the next video. So in yesterday's video by the main slate, 1,200 views, over 115 likes. We have the comments there. We are ready to go. So we are going to see who the 1 or 2 winners are from yesterday's video. Even if the keyword is in this one right here, this is only for getting over 100 likes. The winner of the likes is Steve Weilers. Congratulations. I do believe you won before. So regardless, I need you to email me, dfshelp1@gmail.com. Put in the subject line, you are the 627 video views winner, and let me know your username on our website, FantasyTeamAdvisors.com. If you do not have a username, I just need a username, an email, and a password, and we will get you set up for your free month of FTA+. Now, the keyword was hot dog, so you did have it, but we're still going to re-roll it for that keyword. You still have a second shot here to win. We've had it happen before. So, looking at this, the winner of the keyword is, there you go, Irish Jones. I think it's been a long time since you've won, Irish, so congratulations. Please email me, subject line, 627 video keyword winner, and then let me know your username on our website. I do know you have one. So congratulations to both of you. Again, you can sign up. We have a free link to sign up down below. You're going to get a 7-day free trial to Outlier. After those 7 days, if you go with their normal package, and you use our link, we're going to give you a free week of FTA+. If you use our link and you sign up for their premium package, we are going to give you a month free on top of what you get with Outlier. So we absolutely love it. After the video, after we break down all the games, we're going to go through all of the batters. I have a 10 out of 10 matchup rating through 10,000 sims. So before these videos run, we run 10,000 simulations in the background, and we're going to give you a first look at everything, plus what we like in those 10,000 sims. After that, we're going to do our Pitches Be Crazy segment, where we look at pitchers going against the bottom 5 teams that strike out the most. After that, we're going to do our Makin Bacon bets. So we're going to go through some bets, some batters we like that we think could get 2+ bases for you, and some of the pitchers we think could get X amount of strikeouts in those games. So without further ado, it's time to rock and roll. So like I said at the beginning, the Cardinals and the Guardians game is the Roku game of the week or whatever it is. So we're not going to cover that one. And then we're not going to cover the Sunday Night Baseball game. We are going to cover the main slate, which is 11 games, and then there's a weird little afternoon slate that's 2 games. So we're going to cover those. If you have any questions, always get those down below. We have a free Discord down below you can use. Check everything out in the description of this video. If you want to help out the channel, you can always send tips or donations to our CashApp, Venmo, or PayPal. Super thanks, they take like 70%. So if you don't want to give 70% to them, you can hit us up via a different way. Or if you want to help out the channel, and it's completely free, watching these videos a couple of times a day, liking the video and engaging with it, leaving a comment to try to win one of our giveaways is probably the easiest and best way to support the channel if you do not have the funds to do so. So just you guys watching this video, I do appreciate it. It has helped out tremendously since last year. You guys have absolutely killed it with the views and subscribing to us in the last year. I cannot thank you enough. So that being said, we are going to look at the first game. We got Philly at Atlanta. We do have some rain concern here. So that's kind of what it feels like it's always been recently, just some weather messing up some of these games or being a factor. We have weather in this game. We have weather in Cincinnati there. We have weather in Chicago White Sox game and LA at Kansas City Royals as well. So looking at these two pitchers going here, we've got Ranger Suarez, we've got Spencer Strider. We love what we see here. Ranger Suarez, they obviously see a ton of each other. They're in the same division. You got Ranger Suarez, 198 plate appearances in his career against this Braves team, 233 batting average, 22.2 K percentage. You got Spencer Strider, who's started off slow, obviously missed a ton of time. In his career, 220 plate appearances, 37.3 K percentage against this Philly team, and only a 173 batting average. But let's look at the numbers a little bit more. Again, I don't really love what this new update that they've done, but it's what we've got. So he's already faced Atlanta once this year, went 6 innings, 3 walks, 8 Ks. Perfect. So we look at those and kind of trying to see what he did here. 29.3 fantasy points. So if you're playing on DraftKings, you're looking basically with two pitchers, 25 to 30 fantasy points per pitcher. On FanDuel, about 45 to 50 since we only have one. So he's had success against them. That was in Philly. Now this is in Atlanta. So if you break it down even further, you look at the splits. So home, 5-5, or started 5 games, 3-0 record, has a 3.34 ERA. On the road, 5 starts, 35 innings, 31 more strikeouts, 31 strikeouts, and a 102 batting average. Now, this Braves team makes no sense to me. They are very good. They can hit the ball. But they've been very bad this year. Like, on paper, they're the same team they were. Then they added Acuna, who's been dominant since coming back. They fired their coach. Or they haven't fired their coach yet. They probably should. I know a lot of Braves fans want him gone. I get that. I think this could be a low-scoring game. And then this is why we like it. So we look at this one. And you click in, it's got an over-under of 8.5, which is kind of high for me. And it's got the Braves as the favorite right now, which kind of doesn't, I don't know. It seems a little bit weird. Now, these are obviously opening lines. Depending on when you watch this video, it could be a little bit changed. So Strider has faced them this year as well. Obviously hasn't done a ton this year. Comes in with a 4.07 ERA. Game log-wise, coming off 21.65, had 27.9, 41.1 there. But when he faced this Philly team, he had 18.9, 4.2 innings, 4 walks, 7 Ks, only 1 earned run. The walks really screwed him over. So the walks took him out of the game pretty early. He's only gotten stronger. Pretty much the last 3 games have been dominant. He dominated the Mets. Only went 5 innings. That's the problem. Obviously, would love to see him go higher. He's at his normal 90-plus pitches, so I'm not concerned with that. To be honest with you, I don't know if I want the bats in this one. You could see like Philly bats, like Schwarber has a home run against him, Bohm has a home run against him, and Brandon Marsh has 2. You could look at those. Against right-handed pitching, like you could see Bohm, Real Muto, Bryson Stott makes sense. Atlanta bats against Suarez. You got Ozzie Albies batting .318 with 3 bombs against him. Austin Riley has a home run. Ozuna, Sean Murphy has a home run. Against lefties, it depends. Like, you could use Marcell Ozuna. You could use Matt Olson. You could use Austin Riley. Like, I think this could be a low-scoring game. Now, again, I'm going to let you guys know right now. You can come and call me names or whatever. I'm not right in all these games. I can just we've been doing it for 14 years. You kind of get a feel for it. Personally, I think both of these pitchers are in a great matchup for both cash and tournament. I would look at. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. Sundays are usually. I mean, you could look at Drake Baldwin. He does smash lefties very well. 345 batting average and 29 at bats with 3 bombs. You could look at him. I don't know if he'd get in there. Sundays are usually the day of rest for catchers. So that's definitely something to look at. Him or Sean Murphy, I don't mind. So a little bit of a Braves or Philly stack I'm okay with, but I think I like the pitching just a little bit more in this matchup. So move to the next game. We've got the Tampa Bay Rays and Baltimore Orioles. We've seen a lot of runs between these two teams together. When they're not playing each other, sometimes there's not a ton of runs. But we do have Taj Bradley. We do have Dean Kramer. Now, both of these guys, I don't really trust them. Now, this is one where Like Taj Bradley comes in with a 4.57 ERA. He's already faced Baltimore once this inning, only lasted 1.1 innings, 6 earned runs in that game. It just happened 2 starts ago. He had negative 9.2. He had negative 5.8 against Miami. He's been hit hard in some of these games. Again, that was in Tampa Bay. That ballpark is very, like, home runs galore. It's a minor league ballpark. You got Dean Kramer coming in. 4.60 ERA. Splits-wise, Tampa Bay, 5 innings, 1 earned run, 4 Ks in that game there. Didn't do much. He got 17.65, which is great. Obviously not the 25-plus that we kind of would look at. I'm probably off of both of these guys. I'm probably looking at the bats. And I say that because just kind of looking at the weather here, or the ballpark factors, which includes the weather, wind, and everything like that. It's very hot and humid pretty much in almost every single game. This game, the wind is blowing in a little bit, but it's very hot there. When it's hot and humid, the ball just flies out of there even more than what you're used to. So, looking at this, Dean Kramer for tournaments, sure. But Tampa Bay's been playing very well over the last, I think they have the best record over the last 30 days. For whatever reason, they're just clicking on all cylinders right now. If we look at Tampa Bay bats against Dean Kramer in their career, Danny Jansen has 2 home runs, Brandon Lau has a home run, and Chris Morel has a home run. Against righties, though, if I am taking some guys, if I'm taking 3 guys for Tampa Bay, it's probably Aranda. It's probably Brandon Lau and Yandy Diaz. But I think I want to 2 more. I want to go kind of with a stack, a Junior Caminero. And I don't mind Danny Jansen if he gets the start. I don't know if Danny Jansen will get the start. That's the problem. Then you got Baltimore against Taj Bradley. Gunnar has a home run. O'Hearn has a home run. Westberg, Cowser, and Cedric Mullins all have 1 home run against him. Against righties, though, this year, if I'm looking at him, Gary Sanchez is going to be a cheap catching option if he starts. I would look at him. I would look at Gunnar Henderson, and I would look at Ryan O'Hearn. Those would be my top 3. You can always add on to that maybe a Colton Cowser or a Kobe Mayo to be very cheap, very under-owned option. I don't know if those guys will be in there, though. But I'm avoiding the pitching in this one. I would go more towards the bats. So we're going to go Toronto at Boston as the next game on the docket. So we got Eric Lauer versus Walker Buehler. Now, Walker Buehler has been absolute donkey water, swamp water. I don't know what the saying is. 6.29 ERA, 5-5 record, 56 strikeouts, 157 whip. I remember when Red Sox fans were very happy, they signed him. I don't think they're very happy right now. So 3 of his last 4 games, he's had negative fantasy points. He's gotten lit up against Seattle, 8 earned runs. Now, Seattle strikes out, I think at the time, Seattle struck out the 4th most out of any team. And against them, he had 2 strikeouts. Strikeouts have been very low. Toronto's been hitting the ball very well. Personally, we know Walker Buehler has some good stuff somewhere in his tank somewhere. Now, he's always going to be able to have a good game somewhere. It's very hard to predict that right now, except if he's going up maybe against the Rockies. Maybe. Did he go up against the Rockies? No. His best game, though, came against the White Sox. So, that's basically the Rockies. I was going to say the Rockies or the White Sox. So, he's had good games. You look at his splits when he pitches at home, he's got a 331. For whatever reason, he pitches worse on the road. But I don't trust either pitcher. Then you got Eric Lauer coming in, 5-ish innings. Splits-wise, he's faced Boston once this year. 4 innings, 2 earned runs, 4 Ks. Didn't do much. It's been one of those where he's not really he's coming out of the bullpen, or he's not pitching 5 innings. And basically, he's pitched 5 innings the last 2 starts. When he's done very well, 1 against Cleveland, 1 against Toronto. Maybe you do take Eric Lauer because he's under 8K here. And Boston strikes out the 3rd most out of any team. They strike out over 9 times a game. So you look at that. And if I were to take a pitcher, it would be Lauer. I don't know how much I trust that. But for tournaments, for sure. Cash, I'm not trusting him in cash whatsoever. So you look at this, and Walker Buehler, he has had success against them this year, which is kind of crazy. He did have 9 strikeouts in that game. We didn't really talk about that. That came back on towards the beginning of the season, 6.1 innings, 7 Ks. So he was having a little bit of run there, and then he's just looked pretty bad overall. Toronto was playing bad at the time. They're playing better now. I'm probably taking Toronto bats. So George Springer does have a home run against him, But against right-handed pitching this year, Addison Barger, 261 batting average. I would look at him. I would look at Alejandro Kirk. I would look at Bo Bichette. And a full stack, probably Vladdy, if he plays, and George Springer would be where I go there. Boston bats against Lauer. Trevor Story does have 3 home runs. It's in Boston, so you could use Trevor Story. They do hit lefties better. So if you don't want to go with Lauer because they do hit lefties, definitely looking at Trevor Story, definitely looking at Carlos Narvaez, and probably looking, Rami Gonzalez is batting 347. Definitely look at him and Rob Refsnyder. Maybe Wilyer Abreu as well. I think Abreu had a home run first inning or so on Saturday. So you would look at that, and if I were to take a pitcher, it's probably Lauer. I don't know if I will. I do like Toronto as a stack, but you get a little bit sneaky, go Boston as a stack. This could be a day where they run it, and they run Lauer out. So he has a plus matchup, but he's not going deep into games. If he doesn't get the strikeouts early, I don't like that. So we move Athletics at the Yankees. The rubber match of the game, you got Severino versus Marcus Stroman. Marcus Stroman has been absolutely lit up in AAA or AA, single. Like, he has only pitched 3 times this year, has not pitched in almost 3 months. Yeah. Splits. We can't go over any of these. Like, the splits don't matter. Like, he's only 6K. It is the Athletics. I don't trust that. Okay. I'd probably going against the pitching here. But you do look at this, and you got Sevy. So we did use the Yankees against Sevy last time, and in that game, he had negative 10.2, gave up 8 earned runs, and that was in a ballpark that was a minor league ballpark. And I did mention in that game that the Yankees had Sevy in their organization for almost a decade. They know what he likes to pitch. They know what he's capable of pitching. Their scouting department's probably close to the scouting department that had him when he was pitching. That's where I give the advantage to the Yankees bats. So I'm avoiding the bats completely. I'm avoiding the pitching completely. I'm looking at the bats. So Athletics against him, Lawrence Butler does have a home run, but against righties this year, they do hit very well. I would be looking at Nick Kurtz. I would be looking at Austin Wynns if he gets the start. Tyler Soderstrom if he gets the start. Brent Rooker is another one. And Lawrence Butler is probably my 5th one to stack. Again, they have an over-under of 9.5 right now. Then the Yankees bats against Sevy. Goldie and Chisholm both have home runs. Looking at against righties, though, I'm using Goldie, Chisholm, Judge, Ben Rice, Jason Dominguez. Like, I like a Yankees kind of like a double stack. So add in Judge, Grisham, Dominguez, Bellinger, pretty much this entire lineup. I do not mind. I think I'll be making multiple different Yankee stacks in this day. I don't trust the pitching. I think it could be I think we could see like an 11-10 game or something like that. I don't trust it. I know the Yankees their offense did not show up on Saturday. So Sevy's got that in the back of his mind, but we stacked against him last time. He's 6,200 and he's only averaging 10.4. I am stacking on both sides. So next game we got New York Mets at the Pittsburgh Pirates going up. We got Frankie Montas versus Mike Burrows. So Montas, we stacked against him his last start. Didn't work out for us. Went 5 innings there, no earned runs, 3 walks, 5 Ks, 80 pitches. The Braves didn't do anything until after he left. He sucked in AAA. Bad. They brought him up. He only got 5 Ks, but we stacked against him, and it screwed us over. But he didn't give up any runs. That's what's wild here. Then you got Mike Burrows. In his career, 4.45 ERA. Splits-wise, he has not faced them this year. When he pitches at home, he does a 4.66 ERA. It is the Mets. You could throw Montas in for tournaments because of how bad the Pirates are as a team. But I think we could stack on both sides. Obviously, I like the Mets stack way more. That should not be a surprise. Way more here. So if I'm looking at Mets bats, Pete Alonso, Juan Soto, Brandon Nimmo, Lindor, and probably Ronnie Mauricio would be my top 5 because I am going to be stacking the Mets in this one. Pirates bats, if you think Montas is going to have a bad day, you could be looking at Nick Gonzalez. You could be looking at IKF. I would be looking at O'Neal Cruz. Those would be my 3 that I'd look there. You could always throw in maybe an Adam Frazier, Henry Davis. Really just depends on the lineup that comes out. Again, those Sundays, you kind of got to wait a little bit longer to see the lineups because catchers or someone gets a day off because it's going to be a getaway day and half the teams are going to fly to wherever they need to go, or they have Monday off. So definitely monitor the situation. I don't trust either pitcher here. If you want to throw both in for tournaments, I'm okay, but I'd rather focus on the Mets as a full stack here and not overthink it. Going to San Diego at Cincy. Now again, it's Cincinnati, Great American Small Park, but the rain might be a concern here. We do have Nick Lodolo versus Stephen Kolek. So if we look at Nick Lodolo, he comes into this, got a 3.63 ERA, 5-5 record. We look at splits. He has not faced San Diego this year. When he pitches at home, he does have a 5.06 ERA. So he's been lit up at home. And we know San Diego's pretty good, but we can break it down, use an outlier to see how good they are against lefties. Then you got Stephen Kolek, 3.95 ERA. When he pitches on the road, it's better. He's got 2.13, which makes no sense because in San Diego, it is a pitcher's ballpark. Since he's one of those teams where they could put up a ton of runs in this game, or they just don't put up any runs. And it's kind of frustrating when teams do that. It's kind of like the Yankees. Some games they put up 10 plus. Some games, like Saturday, 7-0, they lose. They don't show up. I don't know why. It just seems to happen. So if we're looking at this, San Diego bats against Lodolo. You do have Manny Machado with a home run. But against lefties this year, not the best. But we do have Martin Maldonado, batting .313. I would use, he might be in, but it might be Elias Diaz. So we don't know. But if I am using some bats, I would look at Jackson Merrill. I would look at Manny Machado. And I'm probably looking at Gavin Sheets and Tatis a little bit. Tatis only batting .171 against lefties, though. Since he bats against Kolek, again, barely anything. Against righties, though, they are hitting very well. I would look at Gavin Lux. I would look at Ellie De La Cruz. I would look at Jose Trevino. Those would be my top 3. Now, kind of wait for the lineup to come out, but you could throw in a Reese or a TJ Friedel or a Spencer Steer. I don't mind those guys either. I'm probably we got to wait to see what the weather's going to do in this game. Regardless, if the game does get played, I would fade the pitching and I would look at the bats. I think I kind of like Cincy bats just a little bit more, but I think a full stack for Cincy or San Diego does not matter to me. So the next game we got San Francisco at Chicago White Sox. We do have some weather concern here. So this is definitely one we got to monitor, but we kind of look at this. It is not confirmed yet on Baseball Savant that it's canon. Trying to see if the news says it is. He could start as soon as Sunday. So we're not 100% sure about this. Splits-wise, he has not faced San Francisco. He does have a 4.66 ERA at home. He's got a 3.44. We don't know if it's been confirmed yet. So it's very hard to go against this. I would still be looking probably at the bats for San Francisco over everything else. Verlander, I do not trust. Now, I know he's going up against the White Sox, okay? He's got a 4.67 ERA, 11.65, 11.7, 2.2. Like, he has not hit 20-plus since April 20th. And then I don't trust him. Let's put it that way. When he pitches on the road, he's got a 4.15, so he has been worse. The White Sox are bad. I get that. They are a very bad team. Verlander for tournaments I'm okay with, but the fact that he's 8K right now and averaging 10 fantasy points, that's too rich for me. I'm not using him. I'm not saying I'm using the White Sox, but if I were, it's probably it depends. He's seen 61 plate appearances against them, 208 batting average. So not a ton. What's a handful of starts. I'm probably using Benintendi. I'm probably using Luis Robert. I might even go a little bit lower and go Lennon Sosa or Mike Tauchman as a stack there. But if I'm going with San Francisco bats, depending on who's out there and who has had success this year, obviously you want to be looking at batters that hit the ball hard, and launch angle is a big thing. We know this. But if I'm using I'm using probably Devers if this game gets in there. Elliot Ramos, Mike Yastrzemski are my top 3. If you need a couple more for a stack, Willie Adames, Jung-Ho Lee, I could see you using them. But I don't know if the weather's going to hold up. I'd obviously rather – I'm not taking either pitcher. Verlander, I know he's probably got a gym in him somewhere, and if it's not this team, I don't know who it would be against. I just can't trust paying that much. So next game we've got the Cubs at the Astros. You got Framber Valdez versus Tyone. Now Tyone, we stacked against him his last start. Got -7, so he's had back-to-back negative fantasy points. One against St. Louis, one against Milwaukee. Gave up 8 earned runs in that game at St. Louis. He's now on the road again. We look at splits on the road. He's got a 5.56 ERA. Houston's very good. That's definitely one that I'm probably most likely avoiding pitching-wise and going with the bats. So on both sides. You have Valdez coming in. He's 10 Ks, averaging 20 fantasy points. He has not pitched against the Cubs this year. When he's pitching at home, he's got a 2.04, so he's just better at home. We used him his last game. He only got a 16.95. It's been a couple of games since he's hit the value we would love to see. So let's just kind of dig into the bats if we're not using either pitcher. So Cubs bats against Valdez, never faced him or barely faced him. Against lefties, though, Kyle Tucker normally hits lefties better. This year he's hitting righties better. So if I'm using Cubs bats, it's Suzuki. It's Nico Horner. It's probably Carson Kelly. Those are my top 3. If I'm going a couple more, Kyle Tucker and P. Crow Armstrong is probably where I'm going there. And then if I'm going Houston bats against Tyone, no one's hit a home run, but against righties this year, Paredes at home I like, Christian Walker, and Jose Altuve I do like. A couple more to follow the stack. Probably Cam Smith and Jake Myers is where I'd go with in this one. So I could see you going in different directions. Obviously, Valdez makes a ton of sense at home, so I don't mind him, but there's zero chance I'm playing Tyone at all. I love JMO, but not in DFS right now. I believe he still is giving up the most amount of home runs this year, unless it's changed. So we got some weather concern here. We got the Dodgers at the Royals. Now, normally this is a pitcher's ballpark. Just this system that's going through the Midwest right now, it is very hot and humid. The ball is absolutely flying out of here. It's hot and humid, and the wind is blowing out, and it still only has a 1% chance of home runs right now. But is very conducive to 19% doubles and triples in the gap and 17% of singles as well. So we do have Chris Bubich versus it should be Robleski. It has not been confirmed yet. The Dodgers have not confirmed it yet, but it is his turn in the rotation. So we look at that. We took him against the Colorado Rockies, even in Coors, because the Rockies are bad. I mean, basically, you're getting 5 innings out of him. The 7 Ks are great. He gave up 2 earned runs, but he still got 21.05 fantasy points, and he was 5,500, which is wild because he was 5,500. I guess it's because he was in Coors against the Rockies. Should have been higher. He's now 6,300. So we look at this. When he's on the road, he does have a 7.88 ERA. That scares me a little bit. You got Bubich. We did use him in his last start. He got 20.7 against Tampa Bay, 6 innings, 8 Ks. He kind of got back on track after the Yankees game. We saw this run here where it was just dominant. I think he was sub 1 ERA at the time, or just above 1. He had some great games. The Yankees humbled him a little bit. He's come back. He's still giving up earned runs in 5 straight games, but he's still getting those fantasy points that you need. If I'm taking one, it is Bubich, but again, it is the Dodgers. So wind is a concern. Rain might be a concern as well. So it's definitely something we need to look at when we build, or when we look at these teams and we look at these players that we're trying to target. So if we're looking at Dodgers bats against Bubich, I mean, Ohtani has a home run and Kike Hernandez has a home run. Against lefties this year, they do hit very well. Will Smith, Mookie Betts, Teoscar Hernandez, Ohtani. A 5th one, if we need a 5th one to stack, maybe Andy Pages. People are going to be on Freeman. They're going to be Kike Hernandez. I get that. But I do like – this is where I'm stuck. I like Bubich here, but I know how good the Dodgers are. But I think Bubich is the Bubai, whatever his nickname is. I think his ownership is going to be lower, where we could take him against the Dodgers. And if he dominates, I think you're going to be up on the field pretty big after that. Kansas City bats, we don't know 100% if it's Justin Robleski, but if it is against lefties, I do like Sal Perez. I like Maikel Garcia. I like Vinny Pasquantino, Bobby Witt Jr., and probably maybe Jonathan India. I don't know if I like a full Dodgers or Royals stack here, but I don't mind that. I like this game. Obviously, it's been 10,000 sims. I would love to see 20,000. So we do 20,000 sims probably about an hour or two before first pitch for this main slate, and we'll see the updates. We'll see the batters, if any batters updating. When we go through the 10 out of 10 matchup rating, we'll see if there's more Royals on there, if there's more Dodgers on there. All of that will help us out. I don't trust Robleski if it is in fact him, but we have not confirmed that yet. So I don't want to dig too deep if it's not in fact him yet. Colorado, Milwaukee's the next game. We got Chad Patrick versus German Marquez. Patrick, he's only averaging 13.7. He would be the one that I trust a little bit more. 3.78 ERA. When he pitches at home, he does have a 3.33 ERA. Game logs coming off 15.25. Like, he had a run right there where he got 18 to 19, which is great. Obviously a little bit lower. He didn't do much against Pittsburgh, which they're a very bad team. Gave up 4 earned runs in that game. Colorado, though, they can hit. I mean, they can't hit. They're bad. They strike out. They've never faced him before. Maybe we give a bump up to Chad Patrick, but the fact that he's 9,100 and he's averaging 13.7, that scares me. Marquez against Milwaukee, he's 5K. He's averaging under 8 fantasy points a game. In his career, 36 plate appearances, a 219 batting average. I don't see a way that I can pay that much for Chad Patrick. I'd rather just focus. We have other games we can look at, but I think I'd rather just focus on Milwaukee bats over everything else. So Milwaukee bats against Marquez, like Rhys Hoskins has a home run and Yelich has a home run against righties this year. If I were to take 3, it's probably William Contreras, Christian Yelich. I think I got 5. Sal Frelick, Bryce Terang, and probably Jackson Churio is what I would take here. If you want to get crazy and not go Chad Patrick and you want to go Rockies bats, Hunter Goodman, Tyler Freeman, Ryan McMahon, probably the ones that I'd look at in this game. So, to reiterate, I'm not taking either pitcher. I obviously like Milwaukee stack better, but I think Colorado could be in a weird sneaky stack because we usually don't get Colorado on Sundays. Usually when Colorado's at home on Sundays, it's like that weird 2:10 Eastern time or like 12:10 Mountain time. It's a really weird one where it doesn't hit the main slate. It also doesn't hit the afternoon slate, so we never play them on Sundays. When they're on the road, we get to play them. I think they could be sneaky today. Then the final game on this main slate, we've got Seattle at Texas. So we're going to look at them. They got a retractable roof, so weather's never a concern for us here. Always good to it's enjoyable when we don't have to worry about the weather. So I don't believe it's been confirmed. Okay, so it has now been confirmed it is Jack Leiter. So Luis Castillo versus Jack Leiter. Now, Castillo in his career, 93 plate appearances, a 253 batting average, 23.7 K percentage. Jack Leiter against Seattle, 47 plate appearances, 286. So Castillo comes in 3.69 ERA. We did use him against Minnesota. Did not work out for us. Now, this is where I'll tell you, I'm looking at this, and this is where I'm wrong sometimes, and this is where I'll tell you I'm wrong. I was wrong about Castillo. I knew Minnesota was hitting very well. His numbers were good. The strikeouts, being on the road, the numbers were decent to me to want to use it. Compared to his home numbers, when we look at this, he is on the road, 5.17 ERA now, gave up a ton of runs last week, 11 walks, 29 Ks. That scares me. Texas is not that good. I get that. He's faced them once this year, went 6 innings, only had 2 Ks, only 1 earned run. That's what's wild because he faced them before, but only got 11.9 fantasy points. They've been hitting a little bit better since then. I don't know if I want to pay $8,700 for Castillo. Then you got Jack Leiter, 4.55 ERA, 4-5 record, 51 strikeouts. You look at the game logs, he really has not done much. Obviously, splits, we do look at the splits, and we see that you've got his last 10, he's averaging 9.6. When he pitches at home, he's got a 4.54 ERA. The way Seattle's been hitting, I don't want either pitcher. I'd rather take the bats, and that's exactly what we're going to look at. So if we look at these bats, and I mean, both of these pitchers could have dominant games. I don't trust them. I'm not going that direction. So looking at this, if I'm looking at Seattle bats, I'm looking at Cal Raleigh, obviously. I'm looking at J.P. Crawford. I'm looking at You could go Dominic Canzone. Not a lot of people are going to be on him today. You could definitely look at him. Jorge Polanco is another one. He started off very hot. He slowed down. He's doing okay. He's not my favorite. Texas bats against Castillo, like Higashioka has a home run. Josh Smith and Marcus Semien all have home runs. But against right-handed pitching this year, they do hit better against righties. So I would definitely probably, if I'm picking them, Corey Seager, who did homer on Saturday, I would look at Josh Young. Adolis Garcia, I'm probably looking at. You could look at Evan Carter. Marcus Semien, maybe. Like a full stack there, I'm okay with it. So those are the bats I would use. I kind of feel more comfortable. I don't know who I feel more comfortable with, but I think I'd stack on both sides. That's kind of where I'm going. I don't trust the pitching. I don't want to pay $8,700 for 14.1 fantasy points. I just don't want to do it. So the main slate's done. We are now going to look at this, I don't know why, but 2-game afternoon slate. Washington at the Angels. We've got Mitchell Parker versus Josh. I know it's not Kachanowicz, but I cannot remember how to pronounce this name right now. Mitchell Parker, 4.69 ERA, coming off 8.7. Splits-wise, he has not faced LA this year. Now, the Angels strike out the second most out of any team. When Mitchell Parker's on the road, he's got a 5.7 ERA. So, probably not using him. To be honest, I'm not playing this slate, but I want to give it to you. Kachanowicz, or however you say his name, does have a 5.38 ERA. Coming off negative 0.15. He had 21, then 7.3. Like, it's been very up and down for him. Of course, he dominated the Yankees. Why not? When he pitches at home, he does have a 5.40 ERA, so that's why I'm not using them. But again, if you don't use them, you have to use 2 pitchers for DraftKings. That's the problem. That's the only downside I see with DraftKings. So if we're looking at Washington bats against Jacob Young has a home run. Bats that I would use, Nate Lowe, James Wood, C.J. Abrams, Brady House you could use. I don't mind. Angels bats against Parker. Joe Adele does have a home run. I would use Adele. I would use Logan O'Hoppe. I don't know if Zach Neto is going to be in here, but I would use Zach Neto for my 3. If you need a couple more, Nolan Schanuel or Mike Trout, Taylor Ward, I don't mind those guys either. I just do not trust either of those pitchers today. And then Miami at Arizona is the final game. You've got Eduardo Rodriguez. You've got Cal Quantrill. Quantrill in his career against the Arizona Diamondbacks, 65 plate appearances, a 262 batting average. And then you got Erod, 34 plate appearances, 294 against Miami. We did not use Erod his last start, 33.3. I messed up. It was against the White Sox. Went 6 innings. He had 10 Ks. He's had 3 games where he's had double-digit strikeouts. He's faced Miami once this year, did give up 10 hits, only 1 earned run, 9 Ks in that game against Miami. So we look at that game, and that was back on April 17th. He had 26 fantasy points. So I don't mind him. The problem is this ballpark scares me a little bit. And then Quantrill. Quantrill against... He's not faced Arizona this year. When he pitches on the road, he does have a 6.17 ERA. Against righties, that's where I'm looking all over Arizona. I'm looking at Josh Naylor, Ketel Marte, and you can just see. Against Quantrill, Lourdes Gurriel has 2 home runs and Ketel Marte has 1, but against lefties, against righties, Ketel Marte batting .333 with 12 bombs. Josh Naylor, .330 with 9 bombs. I would use Eugenio Suarez, who has 19 bombs against righties. Those are my top 3. 2 more, maybe Randall Grichuk or even Lourdes Gurriel Jr. I don't mind in this one. So this 2-game slate, not the best. Pitching-wise, probably Erod. I think the under-owned one would be Josh Kachanowicz, but I don't think he'll play. Maybe Erod Mitchell Parker. Again, though, don't really enjoy... I don't like this game slate here. I think I'd rather just focus on DFS betting, or betting more than DFS for this 2-gamer. So there you have it. Those are the breakdowns of the 13 games. We are now going to give you all of the batters that have a 10 out of 10 matchup rating through 10,000 simulations. The record is 38. I think we had 36 in yesterday's video. I think we've got a lot here, but not 100%. I don't think we're going to beat the 30. I don't know if we'll ever beat the 38. I just don't think we are, but we'll see. maybe one day, maybe you guys will be here for it. So, number 1 is Aaron Judge. 2 is George Springer. 3 is Zach Neto if he plays. 4 is Vladdy if he plays. 5, Cal Raleigh. 6, James Wood. 7, Jose Ramirez. 8, Geraldo Perdomo. 9, Taylor Ward. 10, Nolan Schanuel. 11, Eugenio Suarez. 12, Alejandro Kirk. 13, Corey Seager. 14, Juan Soto. 15, Lawrence Butler. 16, Brent Rooker. 17, Jazz Chisholm. 18, Josh Naylor. 19, Stephen Kwan. 20, Wilson Contreras. 21, Paul Goldschmidt. 22, Luis Ariz. 23, Josh Smith. 24, J.P. Crawford. 25, Josh Bell. 26, Jacob Wilson. 27, Nolan Arenado. 28, Luke Raley. 29, Jorge Polanco. 30, Luis Rengifo. 31, Tyler Soderstrom. 32, Luis Ariz. And 33, Tyler Freeman. So it's been a pretty good weekend. Here. We had 36 yesterday, 33, 10 out of 10. These are just through 10,000 sims. So if you guys want to see the updated version, about an hour or so before first pitch, the MLB tab will be updated for you. We'll have everything from sims to batter splits to BVP matchups, a matchup tool. We'll have it all for you. So now we're going to do the Pitches Be Crazy segment, and here we go. Number 1 is Chad Patrick versus Colorado. Colorado strikes out 9.83 times per game, 10.17 on the road. Number 2 is Mitchell Parker at the Angels. Angels strike out 9.81 times per game, 10.13 at home. Number 3 is Eric Lauer at Boston. Boston strikes out 9.33 times per game, 8.35 at home. Number 4 is Luis Severino at the Yankees. The Yankees strike out 8.94 times per game, 8.07 at home. And then number 5 is Jack Leiter versus Seattle. Seattle strikes out 8.83 times per game, 8.69 on the road. Now, I don't always agree with all of these, so I don't play them always. Chad Patrick scares me a little bit. Maybe DFS-wise, I wouldn't play him because he's so expensive. But if we're doing sports betting, Colorado, I don't mind that. Eric Lauer, kind of the same thing. Maybe for strikeouts I'm okay with. DFS-wise, probably not. Jack Leiter's kind of the same way. Seattle can put up runs, and Leiter has not looked very good this year in the majority of his starts. So now we're going to do Makin Bacon. These are all the batters we think could get 10 out of 10, or could get 2+ bases for you. You can parlay some of them together. Obviously, I wouldn't parlay all of them together because we do have quite a few, it looks like. So number 1, Nolan Schanuel. Number 2, Zach Neto. 3, Aaron Judge. 4, Luis Ariz. 5, Vladdy. 6, Alejandro Kirk. 7, Bo Bichette. I do like Toronto here. 8, Jose Ramirez. 9, Stephen Kwan. 10, Josh Naylor. 11, Jacob Wilson. 12, Eugenio Suarez. 13, George Springer. 14, Brent Rooker. And that is it. We have 14. Now, obviously, you don't want a 14-leg parlay. You could, I guess. I wouldn't. You're not going to win that. But you could play it if you wanted. And then strikeouts, if we're looking for strikeouts here, so kind of trying to get, some books will have these strikeouts, some you can find some alt lines for them, and that's kind of what we try to do here. So if we're looking at pitching, if you could find against the Rockies, like I said, I like this more for sports betting than DFS. But Chad Patrick, if you could find a line for Chad Patrick right around 7, maybe even 8 strikeouts, if you can find that line, I think you're going to get, like, depending, you could see like plus 250 for 8+. I don't know. You'd have to check the book you're on. Spencer Strider, if you can find 6+ strikeouts against Philly, I would like that. Skubal is the Sunday Night Baseball game. If you can find 6+ strikeouts for Skubal, I like that. Framber Valdez, 5+ strikeouts, I'm okay with that. Ranger Suarez, 4+ strikeouts. I'm okay with that. And then if you can find Erod, Eduardo Rodriguez, 4 to 5+ strikeouts against Miami, I'm okay with that one as well. So there you have it. That is the breakdown. The keyword of the day is ultra. The keyword is ultra. So congratulations if you made it this far. Hopefully you guys have a fantastic Sunday, whether or not you're playing DFS, sports betting, MLB, NASCAR, taking a break, relaxing before a short work week. If you guys have a short work week here, I have Thursday, Friday off, so very excited. I'm still going to bring you all the bacon, hopefully, throughout the week to help you guys out. So that's what we've got. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, get those down below. If you want to check us out in our free Discord, that is in the description of this video as well. Have a fantastic Sunday. Hopefully you had a great weekend, whether you sports bet, you went golfing like I did on Saturday, whatever it is. Hopefully you guys have success. Good luck. And as always, let's bring home some bacon. Peace.